And we are live with the pre-show memes. Let me just make sure. It looks like things are turning on. Oh my god, Beatrice is here too. Holy shit.
This too is a Numineko reference.
She's always here.
I know. Oh, Shadow's in the Twitch chat getting all of his redeems out. Gotta go for first and logging in.
Look, I usually don't try for first. So that this time will be funny, you know. For book club 100, I'll do it.
Listen, you are allowed to go for the first redeem, okay?
But then
I know why you specifically hold back because you want Nyan to get it, but
exactly. And any time I can do this.
The first redeem is not something that gets counted on the back end at all, by the way. So I don't have an increment for how many times Nyan has got it, but it doesn't go anywhere. It goes into the void. But you know, if it makes Sandy happy.
Exactly. I don't mind to stop them.
Now the logins do get counted, but if I ever change to a different thing than the thing that I'm currently using, which I probably will, because it's kind of annoying every time to get this ready, I don't know if there's a way for me to extract that information. So you may all have to restart with your logging in numbers. I know that's going to be a real deal breaker for some of you. Many of you didn't even realize that was a function here on the channel, but it's there on the Twitch chat.
It'll be a bummer now that you know that it exists, and it's going to reset eventually.
Well, I don't know, though. There might be some way for me to figure out how to extract the data. Or I might just get lazy and say, fuck that shit. You guys could just restart.
Complete reset, okay?
And if we did restart, it'd be with the Live 2D debut, probably. Most likely.
And Christmas is just a week away, so you know, get those redeems while you can.
Wow, Chris, we even had Santa get brought up on this week's reading. What the fuck?
Exactly, my favorite Numineko character.
And also Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah.
You just got pinged. Get pinged in the Discord, okay?
Pinged, actually. It's not regular ping, it was spooky ping.
You can turn that off. I turn that off immediately, okay? Discord, stop forcing that enabled, okay? Stop.
I think it's funny, so
I can accept the winter sounds because I'm biased, but I don't like that it's forced upon me. Okay, I don't like that it's forced upon me. It's very jarring, and I never remember how to turn it off because they turn it on only like 2 times a year. So, welcome, man.
Hello.
Okay, we are.
So call me out specifically. What is this?
Wait, oh yeah, because you said you got spooky pinged.
Like regular ping, but
are we complaining about the spooky noises?
Yeah,
not complaining,
which I got rid of on my end. No, Shadow's complaining.
I'm not complaining.
He's complaining, and he should complain. Okay, bro. Discord needs to stop forcing that down my throat every fucking year whenever this happens. Okay, stop.
Is there a way to turn it off?
Yes, if you go to notifications, I think there's a section in there. If you scroll down, sounds, event sound pack, which again is only used 2 times a year, just for Halloween and Christmas. That's it. That's the only 2 times.
Which is just a week away.
At least one of those is worth celebrating.
That's true. That's very true. But you know what is worth celebrating? 100 episodes, okay?
The 100th anniversary of book club.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Can you believe it? Just a week away.
No.
It got here so fast.
Huh? I thought it was this week.
It is this week.
No, it's next week.
Well, never mind. I don't care.
We're canceling book club this week, actually. Alright, so my funny fact is I have a playlist of like videos I'm somewhat involved in, and this one specifically, that's the 100. I missed a couple episodes.
Hold on, you I just want to clarify. You said I have a list of shows I've been somewhat involved in. It'd be quicker to form a list of shows you like I just mean, if you're talking about just book club episodes, there's only been like a handful that you haven't been involved in, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but also like other stuff like videos with Andy and whatnot on their channel.
Oh, no, I see it. No, I understand what you did. I have one of those playlists out too, where it's like videos I was featured in that were on other people's channels and stuff. I got one of those set up. I haven't
And this one is
added
also
to it in a
specifically
bit.
the
But...
100th one that's been added. Because I've been missing for a few episodes recently.
Oh my god. It all lines up.
All lines up.
It's all coming together. 100, 100, 100. Can we get some 100
Unlike
emojis?
Manga.
What? Damn. Not that bad.
Okay, if it's not perfect, I wouldn't say it's perfect though. I wouldn't say it's 100. Okay.
Would you say any manga is perfect except for Chainsaw Man?
Okay. No.
No,
Umi was perfect, but like Chainsaw Man's good. It's good 9 out of 10. Okay. Oh, look.
You got the whole squad laughing.
I sure did.
We're all staring at you. How could you say that?
This is why Anne's the master of comedy and not me.
You're saying that not just on the 100th episode of Book Club, okay? Book Club, which started on Tatsuki Fujimoto, all right? You're also saying on the release day of the Chainsaw Man movie, all right? That's fucked up. That's evil, okay? Giving it a 99 out of, or a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10.
Look, okay.
Even Rotten Tomatoes has it at 100%, all right? So I don't know.
That sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
It's there. It's at like 100% for critics and 99% for audiences. You must be that one guy in the audience.
Well, I haven't watched it yet, so I feel like there's a problem here.
Yeah, you didn't watch it. That's why you gave it as a low score.
You're terrible, you know that shit.
7.8 out of 10. Too much water.
That wouldn't decrease the score though.
There was a lot of water in it.
I said what I fucking said.
I mean, there was a lot of water.
Yeah, you gotta stay hydrated, Chef. It's reminding you.
That's true. That's true. It's time to drink water.
I can't use the redeem because you're on the book.
Hydrate,
well, you can use it. It just won't show up anywhere. So
what's the point?
I'm just saying.
If I don't get to hear you suffer, then why am I doing here?
Is that what you've been doing for 100 episodes, waiting for the suffering from me, specifically?
I mean, what's the point of me using the redeem if you don't suffer?
Damn, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Look, sure man must suffer. That's the rule of Twitch, I'll tell you.
All right, so checking the people we have here. So Andy's not going to make it. Aztec's backing out of the series in general. Aztec's were specifically where I think I'm just going to bail for the rest of the series, TBH. It's not really hooking me at all. So that's whatever. Andy's not going to be here. Haven't heard anything from Noctera. So I believe this group here should just be the regular group still. So I think we should just be ready to go. Does that sound about right, or am I missing somebody?
And Soul's the peanut gallery.
Soul's always there. Soul is suited up, okay, for the 100th episode of Anime Book Club.
Yeah, this should be all of us because Sheena's out of town.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Alrighty then. Let's get started. I'm going to take off the pre-show here. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of the Anime Book Club. Not just any episode of the Anime Book Club. This is the 100th episode of the Anime Book Club. This been 100 fucking streams, weeks of us discussing manga. It's incredible. It's insane. I wrote up a whole speech for this, okay? You're going to have to bear with me, because I just came back from the Chainsaw Man movie, so I didn't have too much time to actually write it fully out, but I had most of the ideas, okay? So, Anime Book Club started all the way back on June 24th, 2023, where we talked about Fire Punch by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Back then, I even had my camera turned on for the first couple episodes, and it was mostly me, Justin, and Shadow just talking about whatever we wanted to talk about for that time. I honestly was never sure it would even last through the first series, let alone the second. But as time went on, we kept going, gaining more and more regular members along the way, and we've all learned a lot over time about ourselves and manga itself and a whole bunch of different things like what we enjoy and all that. Some series have lasted longer than others in our memories and are referenced by us very often, like how we finished Umineko. I'm literally about to get into a speech. Calm down, calm down. Like how we finished Umineko a year ago and can't stop seeing it everywhere and bringing it up. There's also our conspiracy theories about mer people going to Olive Garden in reference to, what was it, Pandora Hearts? We've hosted bonus quiz shows together if it was an odd number of volumes, and we even played the Umineko fighting game together. You know, that was an incredible time. Having these shared...
Less than 4 people got traumatized. That's good.
You know, having these shared weekly experiences with a group of friends to share our thoughts about manga has really made my life better in so many ways, and I really hope it's helped both our club members, guests, and listeners feel the same way. So thank you so much to everybody who has been involved in any part of this ride to 100 weekly episodes. It's incredible. It's insane. So thank you so much to everybody. And I do have I didn't have enough time to make I wanted to make a montage highlight video of like some good moments from like a lot of our episodes. I didn't have enough time to do it this week for several reasons. But I did start the project technically, but I did not have nearly enough time to do it. So maybe I'll finish it in the future and post it. But I do have a small announcement to try to at least celebrate this a bit more, which is something I've been planning for a while. And I think I've even mentioned this on some of the streams in the past. Starting with the next series that we read, I will be having the episodes be edited down and then uploaded to Spotify weekly as well for at least the future episodes. And then I'll be doing that myself at first, hopefully trying to find somebody to handle it in the future so that I don't have to do it myself every week. And then that person can also start working on the backlog of our episodes as well. So they'll be edited down. So they most likely won't have the pre-shows involved, and we'll cut out a lot of like dead air or like technical issues in between and things like that. So they'll be edited down more. So if you want that kind of experience, that'll be up on at least Spotify. I'm considering whether or not to put it somewhere else like SoundCloud as well or something like that, but I at least want to put it up on Spotify and have it be edited weekly. And I want to start that with the next series we read. I didn't want to start this immediately with this one because we'd be in the middle of halfway through a manga doing that. So we're going to be, going forward, the new episodes, starting with the next series, will also be up on Spotify along with YouTube and Twitch and all that. So I'm very excited to see how that's going to go. I've tried to attempt to upload an episode in the past, and it technically worked for the Fire Punch episode, but I think I delisted it because I was like, I don't want this to be up if I'm not planning to do this for all the other ones. And I did not have the time back then because we just had a bunch of episodes, and I thought if I was going to start it, I wanted to do for all of them. So I think it's better, the plan that I currently have, where we're going to start with the new series, and then once I find somebody else to help with that editing process for them, they're going to handle doing that, uploading some of the backlog of the episodes along with adding on to the new episodes every week. So that's what we got planned in store for a new part of the book club, and we'll see how it goes from there. I have no clue what book club is going to look like at 200 episodes, but I hope it'll still be going by then, because that would be amazing. But we'll see how it goes. So, all right, 100th episode of book club speech is done. Let's talk about Kagerou Daze. But before we do that, let's get into our guests for this week. Starting in alphabetical order, as usual, Anne's Theory of Happiness. Introduce yourself.
Hi, that's me. I'm Mayan, or Anne, whichever you prefer. I just want to say that's a really cool idea for the book club streams. What am I recommending? I'm gonna say, I finished a new game.
Yo, hell yeah! Wait, the anime or the manga? Which one?
The manga.
Hell yeah, hell yeah! We'll have
I like the ending a lot.
Oh, nice! I'm really glad. I'm really excited. You got me vibrating in my seat right now. Okay.
Hell yeah!
Probably
Married
just me.
lesbians will do that to anyone, yeah.
Oh my god, spoilers. Oh my god.
It did genuinely kind of surprise me that they made that actually canon.
Yeah, that magazine, I think, is historical for not making that canon as much as you think it should be or whatever, but I don't want to get into that too much here because of Kagerou Daze or whatever, but yeah. We could definitely talk about it more later.
Yeah.
Anything else, Anne?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Anne. Next up, Arimia. Introduce yourself.
Howdy. I'm Arimia. I like shonen shit. I don't really know what to talk about or recommend. I'm in the middle of several books right now. Haven't finished any of them yet. Spooktober Visual Novel Jam is wrapping up, and by that I mean we have finally finished our judging, and by that I mean the last holdout chaplain has finished his judging.
Literally can't stop bringing this up. Like, it was one entry, okay, that I had left. All right. When it looked like two other judges were also doing things, then all of a sudden they blasted through their entries. Like, Chab, why aren't you done yet? Chab, why aren't you done yet? Chab, what's the holdup? Chab, what's the holdup? I'm like literally reading it, and Ari's like, Chab, why aren't you done yet? Chab, why aren't you done? I'm literally done, and Ari's like, Chab, why aren't you done yet? Like,
it's like
I'm
I
done.
don't even know it's the 100th episode of Anime Book Club today.
You know?
Look,
So,
Ari.
I recommend checking out all of the entries. There was I don't remember how many, probably 150 plus entries. There's a lot of good stuff. If you are interested in indie horror or just anything Halloween themed, it's a Halloween and horror themed event. So some of the games are spooky, some of the games are cute spooky. Some of them are bloodbath death loops, so check it out on itch.io.
Yeah,
itch.io, itch.io, however you want to pronounce it. It's just itch.io.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and we'll be taking part in an award show for it Sunday on Chizu's YouTube channel. I think they're also hosting it on Twitch as well, but it's going to be on there. I'll be posting links for all that once we're on there, because we will be taking part of that as part of the show with the judges being there. So I'm very excited. That's going to be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So tune in for that if you are interested in hearing about some of the best entries that were submitted there. All right. Anything else, Ari?
Read visual novels.
Name one.
I can name one that doesn't exist. Kagerou Daze. Now I'm in.
Not yet.
Let me
There has not been a visual novel.
Not until
it's not an official one.
June, what are you doing?
Not until we
Get
finish.
out of legal hell and make a visual novel.
Once we're done discussing it, okay, that's when they announce the VN. All right.
It's gonna age like fine wine.
Listen,
phase 2, please.
Listen, we finished Summertime Rendering, and then we realized that there was a VN for that with a new character in that. So, you know, it could happen. It's not impossible. We were reading Dorohedoro, or finished it, and they announced season 2 of that. So, it's. Anyways, read visual novels. Kagerou Daze doesn't have one yet. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that, Ari. Next up, me, A.N.A. Borg, aka Wolfborg, aka Chaplain, aka the best anime book club host, as proven by over 100 episodes now at this point, all right? Well, I shouldn't say over, exactly 100 episodes, soon to be over 100 episodes. Crazy how that works, numbers and all. This week, I literally just came back from seeing the Chainsaw Man Reze movie, and oh my fucking god, what an amazing experience. Please, go see this movie. Just go do it. It's so good. If it's in your area, you will not regret it. It is an incredible experience. Fujimoto is a god among men when it comes to writing in so many ways. Okay, it's incredible. So please go check that out. Very strong recommend. Next up, Shadow. Ava Shadowman V4. Introduce yourself.
I'm Shao. The thing I recommend this week is don't fight the clouds and evade command grabs.
What is "Don't Fight the Clouds" a reference to? I'm trying to.
All you think about it.
I'm not.
I think it's
it.
just good advice.
I mean, I could try not to fight clouds.
You try to fight a cloud, you'll probably lose.
Is this a Chainsaw Man reference I'm not immediately getting or something? Or
No, it's something else. Come on, it's
Okay.
a book club reference. Come on,
I don't know. Just explain it.
it's Pluto.
Okay, well, that was not an easy reference to understand. This is not something we bring up often. We brought it up often for one episode, by the way.
Well, we brought it up a couple times, did we not?
Well, now we've at least brought it up 2 times, so.
Yeah, the third time he does it, it's going to be really funny.
That's true. You know what? We're going to make this part of the culture now, okay? Don't worry. We're going to keep referencing clouds and how we need to run away from them. The Cloud Devil in Chainsaw Man, very terrifying, very powerful. Watch out for that. All right, anything else, Shadow?
No.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, Turando. Introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Turndo, and I like to read.
And that's all you need to be here. So welcome, everybody. Kagerou Daze, volumes 7 and 8. All right, so what do we do with this? We have another case of one volume is pretty much focused on backstory stuff. The other one kind of progressed things in the current time, but then was also mostly backstory stuff. But that's fine for me. The backstory stuff really interests me. Honestly, when we get back to the real-time stuff, I get kind of confused and forgetful for what's going on. I remember thinking...
We gotta find some kid.
No, I understand that we're still on that. I honestly... I said this last week, too. I thought that we were about to end the current loop and start over by now. But it surprised me by not doing that because we went for most of this week just doing backstory stuff, which, again... It was fine with me because I liked how it presents a lot of these backstories. So a lot of the backstory this week was presented about the Medusa stuff. Mary's grandmother ? The initial
Yep, her grandma.
the initial Medusa folklore character Azami ?
Azami. Yep.
Okay. And then their daughter's name was Shion.
Shion.
I'm like putting question marks to all of them to make sure that I'm not getting them wrong. Like I kept getting I think Haruka's name wrong. Or no, Konoha. I kept getting Konoha wrong.
You gotta have a little more faith in yourself.
Well, I tried to.
All right this time.
Oh god, this time. So
I did not mean that as passive aggressive as it sounded.
I mean, it's correct though. It's correct. So, anyways.
Too late.
Oh my god.
They'll execute me soon.
I mean, I didn't really have to spend too much time trying to remember their names because they all got their roles taken out of the picture anyways, pretty quickly in the same arc that they're introduced.
That is a heck of a way to describe it.
Well, because Azami's not dead, right? Shion, from what I understand, is dead, but Azami's not dead. Azami's like trapped in an eternity world because she wished for it, and she's like trapped in it. That's okay. So this is something I wanted to clarify too about some of that stuff. Because okay,
What's up?
A lot of the backstory with her. All right, I mean, there's a lot with that backstory we could talk about, but the one thing that it was, so she makes a wish to a snake, because she basically gets a husband, they have a child, they're living together, and then she's like, wait a minute, but they're going to literally die of old age eventually because my husband is human and my daughter is half human. So I wish I could find a way for them to be able to live forever like I pretty much can.
So it's called this place called the Golden Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've read Bible.
One of the snakes that gives her a power, she's got like, what'd they say, like 10 different abilities technically that are drawn from her. Like, she doesn't really understand herself a lot of these things, but one of the snake abilities, it claims that it could grant her wish, and
That's a pretty good ability.
she wishes for like them to live on for eternity, but that eternity appears to be being entangled in a massive web of snakes forever in some other dimension. I wasn't sure what was happening in that world. Were they just not moving in that web forever, and that's the world? They get to live there forever, but they just can't move? I don't understand an eternity of... Because, okay, in the scene, the husband...
Well, we saw it earlier.
Well, I, like, okay, alright. So... the backstory of Azami...
Start at the dawn of man.
Pretty much.
Literally.
At the beginning, there was literally nothing. And then eventually, Azami,
Except
who...
a cute snake girl.
Yes. Eventually, Azami...
This is what Plato would have wanted.
roaming around. It was reminding me of, in Shadow would know this at least, To Your Eternity, with what was going on here.
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah, where it's just like a being that seemingly is immortal and can live forever and has lived on through the centuries and is just kind of unsure about many things itself at first, especially. So she's just wandering around like, I exist, but I don't understand what these creatures are around me. I don't know what summer or winter is until I experience one of these things. Oh, there's these creatures here. These like humans holding torches. Oh, they're trying to use the torch on me. That feels bad. That must be bad. I gotta stay away from that fire. It could hurt me. Oh, they're trying to hurt me. They're calling me a monster. What does that mean?
Monsters.
Monsters. Yeah. So
I mean,
she...
there's a
you know,
couple
So if
things
you've ever
wrong
heard
with
of
that
Undertale,
already.
what's that, Turndo?
It's like, one, she's lived in the cave her whole life, and there's just a pool of water. So, like, as soon as she sees light, she's, like, not affected by it. So I was kind of annoyed at the way they introduced fire, but I guess, you know, you kind of hand-wave that around.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
because it's like, as I said before, it's Plato's cave. You've never seen light before, right? You've never seen what a shadow is. She's lived her whole life in darkness.
Yeah.
And then all
Holy
of a
shit,
sudden,
I actually know that. Hold on. We're on the same wavelength here, Trent. No, I don't play this cave.
Yeah. The
many
Plato's
people do.
cave
allegory of the cave, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, allegory of the cave, where you have like these men carrying torches, and it's probably the first time she's ever seen like shadows or another species. I guess it's very interesting. The
Yeah.
way like her starting point's in a cave.
Right. And yeah, this is her first encounter ever with humans, and they're immediately trying to kill her.
As you do.
Which she's more confused by than scared by at first. And then she just hangs out with another snake who I think they all ran away from the actual snake. I couldn't tell in that scene, and maybe I'm forgetting just because, you know, it was a while ago when I read that bit, whether or not they shouted snake at her or the actual snake. Because supposedly she changed her form while talking to Snake to look like a human. But I wasn't sure if she looked similar to humans before, or if she looked like some other weird creature before they started doing it. They were showing her to us as like a silhouette of what appeared to me to be a woman with very long, very outgrown hair all over the place or whatever. It looked like just a massive clump of a woman with a lot of hair is what the shadow looked like to me. But I couldn't tell if it was trying to like mislead me with that appearance or if that was what she looked like. But
no, I think she was a human the whole time.
Okay. Was it just a bunch of men who were just like, what is this creature? What is this woman? Like they've never seen a woman before or something. Like why were they waving the torch at her?
Silly chap. We know how evolution works.
I'm like, yeah.
I mean, part of it is just the series is very not anti-human per se, but there's very much a thing of like people just doing random bits of violence for seemingly no real gain or reason.
Well, I definitely remember that from last week when Mary steps out the house for like 2 seconds and immediately 2 people are trying to kidnap her.
Yeah. Or, I mean, even going back further, the first thing we saw was the absolutely incomprehensible bank robbery.
Yeah.
Or not bank
Oh, yeah,
robbery, but
terrorism.
the apartment store robbery, which is also being like labeled terrorism, and that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, which I think is intentional, but
Sure. Yeah.
there was a point that I was getting to, and I don't remember what it was. So
no, I think I get what you're trying to say. You're saying like it's not meant to feel like they have any it's meant to seem senseless more so. It's meant to focus on the fact that it seems like senseless violence. There's no like they didn't stop to talk with them ahead of time. They just started blasting. And so it's something to be said because these are all of our characters in general, they feel like and are referred to as monsters, even though their only real crime is just having these extra abilities that these other people don't have, and the red eyes, I guess. So it's felt like a whole thing to me about like judging somebody in various different ways, just assuming everything about a person and then potentially attacking that person based on your beliefs of them, which we also see this week too with the orphans' backstories later on too, where it's immediately like antagonistic what's going on with them, especially with like Hito and their reaction and all that. But we'll get into that more when we get there. But I understand that general point with this. That kind of stuff like confuses me at first with that because I'm immediately just thinking like, what the fuck's your problem? But like, there is a point to that I can see when it comes to that thematically. So that's
in terms of it making that point, and I think in terms of it reflecting just like it is a series just overall very much about like growing up and realizing that the world is just an extremely hostile place sometimes.
Right.
And it is about like very specifically taking these people who were outcast like completely and then building this I don't know, home tribe with each other because that's the only people that they have around them that aren't being hostile in that way.
Right.
Yeah, like Vocaloid fans back in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Azumi's got some really cool lore though in the story.
Yeah. Azumi's talking with the snake. Azumi's like trying to discover what she is and like things about her. And she's having this conversation with the snake, which the snake's already surprised that they can speak their language. We can talk snake, apparently. So
is this like regular human language, but just a lot more S's involved?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't speak snake, so I couldn't tell you.
Stick.
And the snake is pretty kind to her. Just mostly just being like, I don't. You are strange for trying to discover something like discover who you are or like more about yourself. I was trying to read into that those kind of statements because I'm like wondering like, does it mean it's weird for that because you like you should know about yourself already, or like I had assumed it was more so leaning into like a whole thing about, because it even says later you should try to meet up with those humans more because they're also trying to search for themselves. Like perhaps it's looking at like snakes and other types of creatures. They don't need to learn about themselves. They're just trying to survive and live together, I guess.
Yeah, they don't have consciousness in the way that humans do, or at least not that we're aware of.
Yeah.
For now.
But for humans, and this show is very clearly trying to show that, for humans, this also causes a lot more complicated layers of conflict involved. where we'll get senseless violence against each other. Like animals getting violent at each other is usually just for food. Humans get involved with violence to each other. Like we're not trying to eat each other. We're trying to like defeat something, like some other person that terrifies us, or like trying to steal their shit, or or serial killers or whatever weird shit like that. But like more complicated layers for these things going on for humans than it would be for like animals killing each other. So it was interesting, I thought, for that discussion to happen and to bring out those little points. And it didn't like spend a lot of time on those points, because most of it was just the snake trying to be like, well, you seem pretty chill. Maybe you should go meet up with the humans and see if they'll accept you. You kind of, and I think she was saying like, maybe I need to look like them. And the snake is kind of confused because she does now look like them, and brought her to the reflection thing to check, and she's like, oh wow, I do look like it. And that's how we get how our character looks. In the cover that you see on this week's episode, I believe on the covers on the left, which is the covers for volume 7, we have Ayano. I believe that's Ayano there. That should be Ayano, right? The one with the scarf.
Yep.
And then the one with all the hair that's like turned away, that I'm assuming was Azami. The form that we more so saw, I think.
Seems like a safe assumption, yeah.
Yeah. We don't see her face there, but we do see her face in the backstory stuff. So it eventually goes through a series of time skips with her. Immediately going to, I guess she got screwed over by some other humans, some rich guy who claimed to know about more information about her, and I had assumed, maybe I'm misremembering, I had assumed he was trying to say, if you do this thing for me, I'll tell you that, and then she did it, and then he just wouldn't tell her because clearly he didn't know anything about her. And so she started attacking the other, or they started fighting her, so she just froze them all. But the rich guy ran away or whatever, so she started already hating humans and finding them to be deceptive.
She was basically like at the gate and then saw him in the window.
Yep.
And then she saw him and started freaking out and like trying to get over the gate. So they started attacking her, and then she froze everyone.
Yeah. So
there's a cool lore drop too. They mentioned she's a fallen god, or she had followers before, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, I might have missed that or whatever, but yeah, that's
it was like one little bubble.
Oh my god!
Like the last time she used the power, she was like revered as a god in it first, and then I think it's described as her abandoning her followers. So
I see. That's really cool. Yeah, because like I said, we're going through a bit of like the 2-year eternity vibes with this, where that character was going through a lot of different arcs through the different generations, many of which you don't even see, which is also interesting to bring up because I'm pretty sure 2-year eternity almost won the poll at the same, or was one of the top contending entries for this. So that's very interesting. I'm getting those vibes with this now, but that mostly
eventually one day,
or at least that's mostly what's happening when it comes to that bit. And then like when she's looking, she's eventually like, all right, fuck all this shit, I'm gonna find the least noticeable place in the world, and I'm going to live there in silence.
I'm going to find noticeable place, you say.
And apparently she had to stumble to Japan like by being on a boat, which eventually she was thrown off of, I guess, and then she just found her way back still, or swam her way back eventually, found the island, one of the like mainland islands of Japan, I assume, and then like found the area. I was like, this is perfect. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, I know she can live a long time. Is there like a quantifiable way to tell if this is the least noticeable area? Because she just seemingly walked into a forest and was like, you know what? This place is good. I was like, okay, but what makes this? I mean, seemingly.
Fuck shit. No one's going to come here. Okay?
Well, it comes with a cute boy.
That's true. That's so like because seemingly last episode they had made it sound like she had found a spot, and then used some of her powers to make it so that it could not be found, except by like other people with the power or whatever. That was what
He was already there. He was just
he was there. So, like, but but I was talking about like last episode, like where they had set up the lore for that place, and then here she found it and then was like, all right, I'm gonna set up a home here. By the way, at first she's just casually like, I'll just build myself a home here, I guess. We just can do that. I mean, if you're her, I guess she probably would have been able to figure that out at this point. But then she's like, we have a new character show up who eventually is her husband character or whatever. But he shows up, and his name is Tsukihime. Tsukihame. I think I killed that shit. Tsukihiko, I believe that was his name, right? That's correct. This is correct.
I believe so.
Okay.
That's
All right.
what it is in the
Sorry,
fan
he's a fictional man, and he only shows up for so little time.
Azumi and
Tsukihame. So Tsukihiko shows up, and he is immediately sees Azami, and in my view, just went simp mode for 3 years straight building her a house. Because he finds her, and he's like, can I hang out? I'll do anything you want, literally anything. You can tell me to do anything. And I think she said several times, why don't you leave? And she's like, well, yeah, I can do anything for you. She's like, okay, build me a house, get to work, good luck. And he's like,
and by God, he did it.
He's like, you know what? Bet. I'll do it. All right. Literally worked on this house for like 3 years. And seemingly she didn't fucking help at all with the process of building the house. Seemingly she would like, I don't know, prepare his bath sometimes.
She was the manager.
Yeah, she was there to sit and watch, even though she clearly had more knowledge about how to build a house because she was ready to just do it herself.
She was the manager. Like, she instructed him how to do it.
Well, no, I get that, but she didn't seem like she was helping out with a lot of the processes of it.
Oh, no, she wasn't doing the manual part. She was doing the voice part.
Oh, okay. Hammer that nail there. Get to work. No, not that one.
I don't like that color for the walls.
Tear it down. Start again.
It's called a managerial position.
Exactly. I took that entire part as a very fairy tale part. The rest of the story is very, like, obviously some kind of modern fantasy, but this part specifically I really took as just fairy tale. Just accept it for what it is. Obviously this is not real life. This is not going to be realistic. It's not trying to be. It's a fairy tale.
Right.
It is, in a way, Mary's fairy tale. It's literally her fairy tale lineage.
Yeah.
So, the guy who simps so hard he makes a house in 3 to 4 years. Sure.
I was confused about the logistics of it because at first he just kind of showed up and was like, sure, I'll build you a house. So I'm like, okay, but where are you going to sleep until then? You're not an immortal god like this Azami person is. What are you going to do, buddy? Apparently the answer was he literally just kept going back to his village and then coming back to build a house for like 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
Which I assume meant that she was just...
His house is only an hour and a half away. It's only a 3-hour round trip.
And the lore behind... The lore behind him even showing up there was apparently just, we had a war, and they thought I was useless, so I just wandered around, and then I found you, and then you wanted me to immediately do something, so I was like, you know what, maybe I could actually do this. Somebody actually thinks I have use, so sure, I'll build you a house, and you're pretty, so why not? So I think that was literally how he said his logic of it. Which... for reasons, he comes back at some point, beaten up a bit. I believe he explained that the people of his village were bullying him or something like that.
As you do.
I forget how he I think he was trying to be vague about what exactly happened in general there, but he showed up beat up a little bit. And was that the scene where she cried, or was that a different one? There was because he was gone for a bit at first, and then he showed up again, and the whole time she was thinking like maybe he hates me now or whatever. There was a scene before where he almost fell off the roof, and she was very worried. Like the whole time, it's a whole bunch of parts of the time skip where it's trying to showcase her being like, okay, he'll build my house and then he'll get gone. All right, I want this guy gone. And then slowly over time, it's like, oh, you know, he's working a lot. You know, he hasn't left me yet, and thoughts like that. And then eventually it goes.
Turns out it's really hard to keep up hating the only person you've talked to for 3 years.
Yeah, especially when you're like somebody who has felt alone for all of your eternal existence prior to that, or have only felt fucked over. I think that was a lot of it too. A lot of it was just assuming this guy is shady and up to no good and about to fuck her over, which honestly went across my head quite a few times during this process, because literally any human that interacted with these Medusas before Satou was just immediately trying to do some shady shit to them. So Satou was like the only one who wasn't planning shady shit so far, but now we had the Tsukihiko guy, and yeah, so they develop feelings, and eventually she sees him beaten up and is like, never go back there, please. And for a moment I thought we were gonna have a Bloom Into You moment, because he says sorry at first and there's like ... and I'm like, oh no, it's going to be Bloom Into You all over again. She's going to be very upset and run away before hearing the rest of what he has to say. But then immediately the next page is just him saying, will you be my wife? And I was like, oh, all right. Okay. All right.
You got some initiative on him.
Well, I mean, listen, you build a house for her for 3 years.
Not to mention that whole time she's like going back and forth internally about like, I mean, I know I asked him to leave, but if
I like that internal process. She was like waiting for him to come back, and she was like, what if he doesn't come back? Wait, when he did that, was that because of, could that possibly mean that he and when he did that, that means he actually thought that I was and then like they have that moment where she's like crying or whatever, and they get married, or they're planning to. I think they eventually said that they were about to. I was a little confused with he says, let me go back to my village to get an outfit. But this was like when they already had a daughter and were supposedly going to like the eternal place or whatever, and I didn't know if it was supposed to be we're gonna get formally married, or if this was let me get dressed fancy for the eternal place. I had thought it was getting dressed to
formally married before they head out onto the eternal place.
Okay, all right. Which there was a lot of the time skips in between there where it's like they have the daughter, they raise the daughter, they're we already.
There's definitely a little bit of like reading him as being like, oh, I guess my wife is gonna kill us all now. That's fine.
Which I was like, he listen.
You know
I know he immediately was like, all right, sure, I'll build a house for you for 3 years. Like he was already at that level with it. But like when they have a daughter and she's just like, we can have the wish granted. We all go to an eternal place together. And he's like looking like, are you sure? I don't know if this is. I don't know what this is about. You know, we're a human, right? We have different views on this kind of stuff, right? And she's like, we should do it. He's like, all right, sure. He's got like the most nervous look of his face. He's like, all right, let me just go to my village real quick. And it's shown to us as if like he went to go get his outfit and came back and it happened to be like too late. But I was immediately like, okay, why are you going back to that village at all at this point? But obviously like he's making this use of, oh, I have my outfit over there, but like that whole village seemingly hated him. And but I thought it was going to be that village. They were going to follow him back. Supposedly, they got there before him. So they just kind of went there before when he left. Well, technically, I couldn't tell if those were people from his village or if they were just random other people that attacked, technically. I just assumed that they were from his village and they had heard about the place where he had been for a while. I assume if that guy kept going from the village to that place for 3 fucking years, somebody eventually found out where he was going all that time. I assume that that's what happened.
Especially getting food for 2 and then 3 people.
Right. So I assume they knew about the creature there, and then once he was gone, they tried to take advantage of that to go after it. But at first I was just thinking, like, why are you ever going? I understand you're trying to say I want to get an elf for the formal marriage. I'm like, bro, that village did not sound like it was. I don't even know anything about that village. With the very brief of it I heard about, it didn't sound worth it.
All I can say is this house isn't very hidden for supposedly being hidden.
Oh yeah, the other bonus thing about the house. He finishes the house and she's like, it's a little bigger than I told you to make it. You planned all this ahead of time, didn't you? Well, I just, thought you could use a little space, extra space, I wasn't hoping I could move in too or anything. No, not at all.
Yeah, nah, I would never.
Which, by the way, I don't understand how she wouldn't immediately notice that the house is being built much larger than she had planned way before it was actually complete. But that I ignore. Whatever.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, whatever.
Listen, she's not intelligent. No one in this manga is intelligent.
Damn.
Everyone's sharing the same brain cell, okay? There's not much brain to go around.
Cell juggling.
What were you going to say, Ari?
So this is where we're getting to where the plot lost me.
Yeah.
Because I'm reading everything and I'm like, okay, it's this fairy tale story. It's going to end tragically, of course, because that's just how we know things are going to go for Azami. There's the ambiguity of whether her husband actually betrayed her or not. Because we see his expression, but then we also see like, well, it's not really clear, maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
She's going to have to, she's alone trying to protect her child. Okay. Fully on board. Then it becomes, no, actually, she's caught between her grown-up child and her granddaughter all of a sudden. And that's where I got completely lost. I didn't understand how we jumped from Azami being attacked in the past with her young daughter there to Azami having to make the decision between her grown-up daughter and her granddaughter. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, that did confuse me a bit too. I don't know if that'll be explained more later on, but I was getting confused with that just because of the fact that we saw a backstory about Marie being raised by her mom in the house in the last flashbacks that we got. So now, supposedly, seemingly, the Azami and her daughter were in the eternal place together. What was it? So what I understood was she's in the eternal place, and the snake person says you have to make a choice for either your daughter or your husband to be saved as well. The other one can't be saved, so it's either one or the other, which my assumption was she chose the daughter because I had thought that we had seen the daughter in there as well. But then they had said that the daughter gave up her place so that the grandchild could be out in the world or something. But I don't know if I was understanding that. I was just confused at why the Eternal Snake would allow that, even. I don't even understand, because all I know is...
I didn't understand the sequence of events.
Right.
Or counterpoint, Aino could just be lying. We just have an unreliable narrator. We have no idea what her background is. She came out of nowhere.
She's a
She's
child.
just like,
that is true.
telling this fairy tale.
Weird
That is
ass
true.
ghost child. Who knows?
Because for those listening, the clarification here is that all of this story is told to us through Ayano sending these memories to Hibaya.
Just
Psychic,
injecting them
Hibaya?
right into
beaming
his
them
brain.
into Hibiya's mind.
Well, this
Yeah.
person looks like Ayano. I don't think they confirmed that she is Ayano. They don't even say her real name. Like when they're conversing with her. Like it could be someone
sure.
else entirely.
Sure, maybe that's possible. Because as far as we're supposed to know, the Ayano that we've seen before was supposed to already be dead. But now there's someone who very much looks like Ayano talking with Hibaya and explain that she has the ability of what is her ability, like super empathy or whatever. She could send emotions and memories to other people or something like that. Which I guess is her ability. And
Is this to a Pluto reference?
why not? She's like showing all of these to Hibaya to try to like. I mean, I don't know why she's specifically showing that to Hibaya, but her goal is to explain that he is now one of their monster people who have the eyes and abilities. So Hibaya has some abilities now that he's not aware of, and we're primarily explaining that, and also about Hiyori, and that it's seemingly Hiyori is currently trapped in part of that eternal world thing, and then once they are allowed out, they will have one of those powers if they can get out of there. It was my understanding of this. I guess my confusion was how you get out, because my understanding of it was supposedly you're trapped in that realm. You don't get to choose to get out. That was my understanding of why it seemed evil at first. Aside from it just you're tied to a wall of snakes the whole time, which is miserable, sure, but it didn't seem like you could opt out of it. Otherwise, Ayami probably would have. So,
No,
I mean,
Chip, you're stuck here.
I mean, my more thematic assumption is that it's like a purgatory kind of thing. You're technically dead, so to be brought back would be to be reincarnated as like a new being or something like that. That was my assumption with that, but I wasn't entirely sure with how the rules work with that, because that seems like it's going to be critical for later on with things. So I was trying to wrap my head around that, and I don't understand, like what Ari is saying, how the granddaughter is somehow how the granddaughter happens, because as far as I'm aware, Shion, the daughter, was trapped in the eternal place since she was still a child, and then supposedly they allowed their granddaughter to leave. I was like, were you allowed out to have a granddaughter? What is happening?
Wait,
How did that even happen?
Okay, hold on. No, you go first. Sorry.
What I was going to say is my kind of interpretation of trying to understand the sequence of events is that Ayano jumped in time in her flashback sequence. So we see the first version of Azami using that power to create this other world or something, and her daughter end up living, even though we don't really see that. And then what I assume is that we jumped forward to the moment Azami has been in this world ever since then, and so maybe she was raised by her dad or something. I don't know. Shion was raised by her dad or something, and so then I assume that Ayano, retelling this story, jumped in time to when Shion and Mary are being attacked by that group. And Azami has to make the decision between Shion and her granddaughter. And Shion, of course, wants her daughter to live. That is my assumption of how the storyline makes sense with how it was presented to us. That it's not these things happening right after the other. It's that we have one scene, and then time passes, and we are not made aware of that, and then Shion lives her life and stuff, and then we come back to them being attacked, I guess. It still doesn't really make sense to me, but that's the only way it makes sense to me, if that makes sense. I just said sense 3 times in a sentence.
Well, since you put it like that,
Yeah,
I
because
still, I mean, it's still confusing to me. I'm sure this is one of those things where I'm sure it's very confusing to me, but it'll probably be re-explained again later, anyways. This is my assumption with this kind of stuff, which I'm hoping for, because otherwise I'm just gonna ignore all that and just be like, okay, I guess stuff happened with a creepy snake and that set up the plot. The main thing I took away from that was it just trying to explain that this is where those people disappear to briefly, and if they get out of that, they don't die from their traumatic near-death incident, or they technically do die, but they're brought back with the ability that one of the these are all abilities from that world. They keep referencing like this is when that child escaped from that eternal world or something like that. The child with like those powers or whatever. That's when that power escaped from that realm. And so that's when that incident happened for the orphans, for them coming out. Because they're at the diner where Shintaro is being explained all this stuff through Ayano being there too, which, by the way, Shintaro just apparently does not know this person for whatever reason. So I don't know what that's about. I assume amnesia stuff, repressed trauma, maybe. I don't know, but supposedly in the past,
therapy too. Who knows?
In the past, he was having like nightmare flashbacks about Ayano, but I don't know if he actually knew her, or if he knew her in a different timeline, or what was going on with that, or if he immediately senses that this is not Ayano but looks like Ayano or something. I don't know. But supposedly Axe doesn't seemingly even bring up the fact that she looks like Ayano or whatever, so something's going on with that. Probably amnesia, probably drama, repressed bullshit or whatever. But he's learned this stuff from them at a diner, and it's being explained that the abilities are inherited by all these people. There's like 10 of them, and there's a couple that supposedly there's a big bad power, the clearing eyes. Okay. Let me see if I can understand this right. Supposedly there's 10. We got I'm not gonna try to list all of them, but
it's spoiler zone. We got them all.
Sent them in spoiler zone.
Oh,
well,
okay.
They missed 2, but I got the other 2. Don't worry.
Sorry. Yes, Soul and Shadow.
Thank
Sent
you.
them in spoiler zone.
Is it immediately at the bottom, or okay? Yes.
Yeah, it's immediately at the bottom.
Scroll
So we
like
have,
a tiny amount. Yeah.
Drawing eyes, stealing eyes, deceiving eyes, focusing eyes, awakening eyes, opening eye. Wait, what is awakening eyes? Is that supposed to be Ane? Because it's like next to Ane.
It's next to. Here.
Because
this.
Well, because here's the thing. I was a little confused too, because it says the drawing eyes, but it's not next to Momo. The drawing eyes is next to
Yeah, it doesn't.
Shintaro.
It doesn't correlate that way.
Or Seto or something. So it's not like next to them. But I was like, Ane is on there too, though. Does that mean she has eye abilities? One of these? So all right. So anyways, Awakening Eyes is the one that I was like, I don't remember one of these people having these, but I have to assume it's Ane, because Ane probably should not be alive as a digital person. She is reawakened as a digital entity.
I'm a digital person
Digital
too.
style.
Oh my god. There was I assume Focusing Eyes was Seto's, like focusing on their. I was like, is Seto's the focusing eyes or the opening eyes? Which are, because some of these I know. Deceiving Eyes is Kano, Drawing Eyes is Momo, Concealing Eyes is Kido. Those ones are easy. Stealing Eyes, is that Konoha? Who's I don't know who Stealing Eyes are. Focus Eyes. Or open eyes. I'm like, one of these is maybe Seto, because Seto can read minds. We had what were the other two? The clearing eyes and the locking eyes. We know is Mary. Clearing eyes is supposedly. It sounds like it's supposedly the big bad. I don't. Several of these powers, I'm just like, I don't know.
They haven't explained yet, I guess. We'll deal with it then.
One of these is Seto, one of these is Konoha, and one of these is probably Ane. I don't know. Shintaro, as far as we know, does not have these abilities. I assume
I like how Yano was like,
He gets
I
what he
don't care
deserves.
about you. You're not important.
I mean, her whole. Oh, actually, wait. One of these is gonna be Ayano's eyes as well. Hers was favoring eyes. Yes, that's what it was. Favoring, because I remember that's the other bubble there. Yeah, so she's the favoring eyes. Okay, yeah. So a couple of these not explained to me yet. I assume Aine, if she's considered an eye wielder, would be awaken. And I don't know what Konoha is supposed to be. So
I'm sorry,
Hibe
Eye
has.
Wielder is extremely funny.
I mean, they got.
I know what you
abilities,
mean.
You know, it's
but
not
it's-
wrong. The eye wielders, okay.
You wielder.
I mean,
The
Hiyori's
mystic eyes, you might say.
true. Hiyori's going through a process. Probably not a fun process, but she's going through a process right now, so she's gonna come out of it with eyes. She's gonna be one of these.
Whose eyes are those eyes, chef?
No.
Or she'll never come back. One or the other. But
Yeah, she got hit by a fucking car.
well,
Wait.
supposedly.
People don't tend to come back from that, chap.
Well, people don't also tend to immediately disappear after getting hit by that car. I don't know.
Says you.
Hibaya seemingly
also
was
people don't
fine.
tend to get turned to digital beings too. So
Hibaya-
I'm already operating my clown rules, okay?
Hibaya is seemingly
Sorry, chap,
fine.
if you haven't been hit by a car, I don't think you can say that with any kind of confidence.
Well, so maybe I have and I survived. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about that?
Did you?
My sister
Did
was
you?
hit by a car once and she survived. So I think,
Oh, damn.
that must mean
Well,
my sister has
logically, it all works
the
out.
eyes. My sister has the eyes. Okay, I'll have to ask them about that in the next phone
Wait, doesn't
call.
that mean that you're the dead one?
Well, I wasn't with them at the time.
Jared Leto fucking got him.
Oh no.
I get to host anime book club. Yippee!
Oh, you want to
Okay,
host
well, I
that?
just killed you already.
Hey, listen, you want to start hosting? That means you got to start editing episodes for Spotify every week. Good luck. Enjoy. Yeah, so Hiyori's going through a process. Good luck to Hiyori. We're still trying to find her, by the way. Supposedly Ayano knows where she is. That doesn't mean we know how to get her out, but she's going through a process. And I assume if she survives the process, she will have one of the eyes. So we're going through the eyes. The eyes supposedly, we're working through cast members to get more people with the eyes. I don't know. I think in my head, I'm just wondering a couple things. One, because I know this is manga, so this is all black and white. Are all these characters supposedly like always having red eyes, or are their eyes only noticeably red when they use their powers? Are their eyes supposed to always be red, or?
I believe it's only when they use their powers.
Okay, because in my head, I'm just wondering if any characters could have the eye abilities but be concealing it.
Well, I guess except for
The concealing eyes.
well,
not even concealing.
The one person who has concealing eyes is not in fact concealing his eyes, so we know he has the ability, and he's not concealing it. So I'm not too worried about other people having eye abilities and hiding it if they always have the red eyes. I think that is the one thing I did want to bring up, though. Like, I don't know if any of these characters do have red eyes or have these red eye abilities, unless it's literally told to me that they have red eyes or that I see them use an ability. Like, I'm not gonna know in the manga.
Yeah, it sure is a
if that's
black and
the
white
case.
manga, huh?
Yeah. and like, I don't even know if Aine has red eyes or not.
Find out.
Like, my only semblance of their eye color is just whatever might be on the cover of the manga, which even then, like, Seto's eyes are yellow. I don't like, Aine's eyes are like blue-green, but like also she's a digital program, so I don't know what counts with that. Like, Momo's eyes are supposedly what, like gray or something, or black or something. I don't know. Supposedly they have the red eyes. I'm looking at a photo of Kano now that looks like he does not have red eyes. Yeah. That was the thing I had with that. I didn't know if it was supposed to be red eyes metaphorically or literally? Because I can't see that shit in the manga. My only judgment of that is whatever color they are in the cover, I guess. Which, I mean, Kito's eyes look pretty red on this cover, I guess. Kano's eyes look more yellow, but whatever. That's fine. Ayano's eyes seemingly are black on the cover, by the way. They don't seem red. She just has a red scarf. What does that symbolize? I don't know. There was a point to all this, I'm sure. I'm never gonna remember what.
Yeah, there wasn't a point. There wasn't a point.
No, there was a point. Okay, there was a point.
Oh.
There was a point. All right, listen. I'm just saying. All right, these are issues with the medium, but also questions I have regarding the red eyes in general. Like, because if you just told me they have special supernatural eyes, that's one thing. If you told me they have red eyes, I just think about Pandora Hearts, us literally having characters with red eyes that made people.
Oh no!
Like, you know, they stood out.
The point was to exclude Shimaro, right? Because he doesn't have red eyes.
Well, but again, I don't know if the other characters also have red eyes, because again, my only experience of these characters on the covers, many of which do not have them with red eyes. I don't know. So I won't. Maybe I just won't think about that too much. I'll just assume whatever. Okay, the maybe red eyes doesn't literally mean red eyes. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, so Azami and all of them, their backstory happened, and then we jump to the modern day stuff. Back to our time looping story, which the loop is not reset again yet. For most of our cast, at least, it is not set again yet. Which, by the way, Volume 8 opens after Volume 7 is all that flashback, and then Volume 8 immediately has the characters and then like a story so far section, which I was glad for because I was getting to the point of forgetting what the story so far was supposed to be. Because like this loop especially,
last time on Dragon Ball Z,
like this loop especially, we're jumping to the other ones a lot, and here we didn't really make any progress when we went back to the actual story loop thing. The main progress that we had when they went back was suddenly finding Kito fucking dead with Hiyori.
What do you mean they're dead? Look, chat.
With Hiyori standing above her and then disappearing when a bus passed by.
It's called aura farming.
No, she has the power
Girls
of
with the
truck
girls.
moon. She has the truck eyes.
God forbid women have hobbies. I understand.
No, look, she's fine.
And then we went into another flashback thing. I was trying to think of what else happened with the like modern times thing. I think most of it was there was a little chit chat back at the Makakushidan hideout between Kano, Seto, and Mary, where Mary's like, Kano, you like Kito, right? Like you like her, right? He's like, and then he just leaves. And then finds her dead. So, you know, and then he's immediately like holding himself back from reacting over it. I forget what his reasoning for it was. I think his reasoning was something like,
starts crying, then everyone else will be crying too, and just completely lost, and somebody has to take charge.
Yeah, it was that, and also and also I think he literally said like doing that wouldn't actually bring her back anyways. It's just gonna bring everybody down. So yeah, makes sense.
Which is a normal, insane reaction to this. Well adjusted.
Very healthy emotional response.
Very healthy. Very healthy. And then we go into the flashback about their upbringing. As
you know,
there was technically a very brief flashback about Momo, about how at first when she gained the ability of the drawing eyes, it led to a lot of creeps around her, and he was like trying to protect her, and then eventually she controlled it. Now she's an idol now, and I was just
As
thinking
you
to
do.
myself, I was thinking to myself, like, did she control it? Did she learn to control it? Like, she seemingly can't go outside. Couldn't go outside at the very
Well,
beginning of the story, but also that was a different loop, so I don't know. I don't know how much changed with
yeah,
that.
yeah. Also, you know, the
It
reason why she joined the Micro Sit Down in the first loop is because so she could control her powers.
well, that too. In my view,
You know,
I'm j-
loop two, I guess, you know,
sh-
a little different.
right. Like in my view, I just assume, um, like the way that she controls her power is that, in my view, she has this power. It's going crazy. Everybody's obsessed with her. So she becomes an idol, and then immediately gets a bunch of security for her through the agency because of how popular she is. That was my assumption for how it was controlled, but that's not what happens. She just goes home every day. Like she doesn't like live anywhere else. She doesn't have extra security. She just goes home every day. Like, this is supposedly a super popular idol, and it seemingly changed nothing about their lives other than her also being popular now, which is wild to me. With how her abilities seemed insane, with how much attention it would draw too. So I don't understand anything about that. I just assume, like, it's one thing if it was trying to make a comment about how the idol agency will just use you and not help you out at all, but that's not even the message it's trying to show with that here. It's just adding that as a bonus fact about her, which is, I don't know. I don't know. Um, that was one thing. We brought it up that brief time though because he's having the conversation with Ayano because they're looking for more people with the eye abilities, and he's like, my sister has one actually. I can tell because, you know, her eyes. I think he said her eyes turned red. I was trying to see if that's. I was trying to remember if like we actually brought up that with her, but supposedly he knows that like he has the ability, she has the abilities now. So supposedly, I want to assume her eyes actually did turn red. So he noticed that, and he was like, "That's weird." And now everybody's paying attention to you now. So whatever. That conversation happens, and then we find Hiyori supposedly having murdered Kido. We don't actually know if that's the case because she disappears, and we just have a dead Kido left behind with a lot of blood on Hiyori's hands before she disappears after aura farming. Anything could have happened there. Anything could have happened there. Don't worry.
Trying to do CPR or something.
It's possible. I mean, they weren't really looking to fight her or anything. They were just very confused. But now, when she just disappears, they're just like, okay, is this an enemy now? What's going on here? The loop is not restarted, by the way. We still haven't restarted with this loop. I thought that was going to be the moment where the loop restarts, but it's not. And then we go into backstory about Kano, Kido, Seto, and Ayano, where Kano, Kido, Seto, they all are orphans for various reasons, living at a place together. Kido and Kano move in at the same time to the place. Seto's already been there. Seto's kind of just in a room by himself, even though there's like plenty of space for other people, just because everybody's creeped out about the fact that he can read their thoughts. So he can just immediately read minds. Doesn't keep it a secret from them. They can read minds. They all figure out that they have these abilities and they share it with each other. Kido is not able to control their ability about their disappearing stuff yet, which I think she literally said is fueled by thinking sad thoughts. I think, and
Yes.
Yep.
Which, all right, that's not fun way to activate your ability. Let me just think about, I need to hide myself and a group of people so we could go to a festival all day. We can go to a carnival all day.
In order to do that, I need to get depressed first.
Yeah, let me just
be
be
think about what
depressed.
happened to me as a child.
Let me just be depressed all day while trying to hang out with them. I was like, oh no, that I thought they were all just having fun together earlier, but now I'm just looking back at all the scenes like, man, she had to be depressed the entire fucking time to hide her and the whole fucking group. I was, damn.
I mean, Like, all you have to do is procrastinate and then just worry about exams and stuff, and then boom, you're invisible.
But Torendo, have you forgotten? Why get depressed now? I have plenty of time later to get even more depressed.
Oh boy. Because eventually they get used to their abilities more as we see them in the future, but like this is a period in time in the past where they're still getting used to it, and like Kano's guy's deceiving eyes, and I think was going to they were talking about having him try to pretend to be Seto, but he said, I have to have a very strong memory of the thing, so I'm gonna have to sniff you for a bit in order to learn your smell so I could do this ability. And Kito's me like, are you, what the fuck is this? Let's not do that. And
I need to go to Wef here, you know? I need to...
And then Ayano also showed up because they all that group tried to hide at first because they were like they were being adopted later on, so those three were trying to hide because eventually their shenanigans while trying to figure out their abilities, they got found out by one of the people living there, or the people that was there, who then reported that back to was it the creepy teacher guy or was it a different guy? It was the creepy teacher guy, right? Who
That was creepy teacher guy. Kenjiro.
And his wife?
Wife,
And his
girlfriend,
wife,
question
yes.
mark, who
Researcher?
I kept looking at the whole time saying, wait a minute, she's got the hair things that Ayano's supposed to wear, and Ayano's wearing a different thing here. I don't know.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna die.
I was just like,
no, she makes it.
I was just like, okay.
We just
right.
haven't seen her for no reason.
So, as far as I'm aware, Ayano's the only
I can
actual.
picture the gravestone.
So, as far as I'm aware, Ayano is the only actual child of at least that woman. I don't know if the man is also her father or if it was just a different person. I don't know, but those two both adopt those three together. But when they go to try to adopt them, they're trying to hide at first. They're trying to be invisible. But Ayano can, I guess, sense them in the room despite them hiding, and then found them, and then they all went to live together. I think I remember
happy family.
I think I remember thinking to myself immediately. I'm just reminded of Evangelion in ways where I'm looking at creepy teacher guy and thinking, oh, Tsukihiko, welcome back, trying to do weird shit to try to bring back your dead wife from the eternal place, probably.
This is the second time this has happened. First with Pluto, now this.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I don't know if that's what's happening, or if Tsukihiko... Because I assume Tsukihiko, in some way, is still going to be involved with this. I don't know why we bring up this story about Tsukihiko, only for him to just be abandoned for the rest of the series. I assume he's involved with this in the future in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if that manifests as that guy in some way, or if it manifests as the clearing snake thing or something. I don't exactly know, but I want to assume Tsukihiko plays some kind of part in it. When I just keep thinking back to the line of the creepy teacher guy saying, now I can finally open the Kagerou Daze or whatever, and I try to think to myself why he would really, really want to be doing it to the point of abusing these children like this, and I can only assume it's to bring back a dead wife or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Speaking of Kagerou Daze, they say the word Kagerou Daze a lot in these volumes.
Well,
I wasn't expecting that.
Well, because it's a concept, okay? I mean, they say Fire Punch in Fire Punch. That happens. Dorohedoro says that at the end of every volume. You know, that is Dorohedoro. And then they Umineko'd all over the place. Okay, so...
Oh, that part of the anime.
Well, they did say when the seagulls cry, right? So... I said that.
I'm sure if we keep reading, Asumu will show up eventually.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, so I was immediately thinking those things. I'm like, okay, the teacher's got to have some relevant story connected to this from the Medusa story in some way for him to want to be involved with this process like this. But it also just seemed like he had to... It wasn't even him that was informed about that, I don't think. It was his wife/girlfriend who was informed about it, because she does Japanese folklore research, specifically about the Medusa folklores. So when they found out about those children with red eyes who have these weird abilities, she's thinking to herself that this is connected to the Medusa story. Which, by the way, when they go there and they go to look for the children, they're like, huh, nobody's in here. But they knew beforehand that one of them can turn invisible. I was surprised none of them thought that. I mean, Ayano found them, but I was like, okay, you're going to a place with children who supposedly have these supernatural abilities, one of which is to turn invisible. And you go there and the room is empty. We don't think for a second, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because I feel like that's not a detail you forget. You're picking up children with superpowers that can deceive and read minds and turn invisible. Like, these aren't details they didn't know about. They were talking about it on the ride there. So...
You gotta be careful, okay? Who knows?
You know, it just kind of slipped their memory at that moment, I guess. I don't know. So they bring them there, and they're trying to live together, and I guess that whole group, like, they were hiding at first because they were suspicious of why they were being adopted or whatever. Because they weren't sure if they're like being taken to a bad place or if they're like, I think Kido thought that they brought them in as like a joke or like because they were weird or whatever, and she was insulted by that, which is why she freaked out over Ayano trying to be friendly with them. They have a interaction which involved Kido slapping Ayano down to the ground, and I think she was bleeding a little bit from it, and then she got all teary-eyed and apologetic about it because she realized she kind of overreacted to that. And then they all became one big happy family that nothing bad ever happened to ever. I'm sure they all lived happily ever
It's true.
after,
I was there.
Afterwards. Yeah, you were there. Did you survive the Kagerou Daze? Do you have the red eyes? Do you have special eyes? Okay.
I have glasses?
Oh, well, close enough.
You have special powers too, chap? Because your glasses?
Yeah, actually, I do. My
Oh,
ability
shit.
is
What did you do?
the hosting eyes for Anime Book Club specifically. Allows me to host amazing episodes, 100 episodes even, of the Anime Book Club. So
that feels like an incredibly specific power.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, one other small bit of detail from this week that did happen. Aine noticed Konoha running by and immediately told Momo, run after that man! Run after him now! Not explaining anything.
Yeah, get after him!
And then we followed Konoha just to find Kito's dead body, and then we're carrying Kito's dead body back. And I'm like, okay, because I still remember when Aine tried to get in contact with Shintaro last time, it was just like, we have to call 911, we have to call emergency right now. And later on, he's like, so what was that all about? He says, oh, never mind, it sorted itself out. The sorting itself out being, I forgot that he was a thing until now, I guess. Because she recognizes him. It's like, we got to go after him. Just doesn't explain any of that to the people, though. That was a little thing that happened.
Leaves.
And then we find Kito's dead body, so then we just ignore that again. So, yeah. Why not? We'll deal with that plot thread later. That's like volume 11 issue. Okay, we're not dealing with that in volume 8. Okay. Yeah. So we got like what 3 new characters this week. Technically, it was 2, but one of them was like a younger version of them. We got the Azami, the original Medusa. Then we got the daughter Shion, which we learned more about the adult version of Shion as she was raising Mary. But here we got to see a little bit about young Shion, and then Tsukihiko, the husbando, the simp, build a house for 3 years guy. how do we feel about these new characters that were introduced here? How did we feel about their little story? My suspicion is that Tsukihiko is going to get involved with the story again still, but I don't know for sure. And I mean, I think I really liked Azami's design, and I liked the little story that we got. I like the backstories in general that we get with this. I feel like it's a little too heavily balanced towards the backstories, and not as nicely balanced out with like the main story. But I kind of don't mind that because I like the backstories a lot with these characters. And like Azami's story, I thought was really nice. Tsukihiko's story, I thought made it like a little cute, you know. And Shion, I don't really have thoughts about Shion. Because I mean, we only really got to see young Shion, which really didn't have anything to do with, like, she didn't really get any choice with a lot of these things. So, or I don't even think a lot of
Shion
screen
is
time.
unfortunately a very minor character in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, we just
but she
skip
does
her
have
and focus
probably
on the
my
grandma.
favorite. She does have probably my favorite of the songs. I don't think it ever got like an MV or anything like that, but I just the song's called Gunjo Rain.
Oh, okay,
And it's just her perspective on like raising Mary through all of that, and it's very sad.
Oh, I see. Very interesting.
I was kind of disappointed because I didn't see my favorite character in Azami's backstory.
Who's that?
We didn't see the hamster interact with Azami. I still have so many questions about the hamster. Because he's like, how do you become chief of the forest? Like, he's literally sitting on top of a moose, which is not even supposed to be in Japan.
Other moose get Japan. How they go
Well,
from
he
Japan
defeated.
to Japan?
Where's the backstory of the moose?
In unarmed combat, and then became chief of the
volume
forest.
9.
Much like if you defeat Chap in combat,
that's true.
then you become the host of book club.
That's true. Jared Little almost won tonight.
Chap in Gold Fantasia count though.
No, it has to be real.
Yeah,
God
real combat.
Real combat.
Yeah, try to command grab me in real life, buddy. See how that goes.
I might be able to do it.
You would
Yeah,
not
you have
be
to
able
fist fight him in a Denny's parking lot.
Specifically, no. I want to do it in IHOP. Okay, IHOP's better. All right, I want to have pancakes after I win.
All right.
I want to have IHOP pancakes after I win.
Actually, wait, hold on. I'm curious. Do you guys have maple syrup in America?
We absolutely do. Yes.
Do you guys have maple syrup in Canada?
I'm at the same America.
It's called like
I'm confusing my country.
Or something.
I mean,
we're learning once again that Canada is in fact a psyop.
We have maple syrup here. I don't know if it's a case where it's different how it's done here than it is in Canada. Like how the chocolate there, the chocolate in Canada is way better than our chocolate here. From my brief time there, it's like way better over there. I don't know if that's the same case for the maple syrup, but we do in fact have maple syrup here. Yes, this is a fact.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, maple syrup aside, we're talking about the chief of the forest and all that. Yeah, I was wondering when they were going to try to interact with them in the story, but I think a bit of the issue here was that
we're done with the hamster for now.
Well, yeah, because one, time constraints, like we mentioned last week, this is a concern I had before, was like we don't have a lot more time with these manga volumes. We only have up to 13 volumes, which I don't know if they knew they were going to have 13 volumes at the time, but I expected us to be done with a loop by now, but we're still going. Like,
we're still a loop too,
because we
don't mean that go. We're
which which we're getting into the backstory stuff, which tells me now at this point, each of the loops is not changing those facts. Those facts have to be remaining because otherwise we're spending a whole bunch of time on something that's going to get undone later. So I assume that that's not being undone later, or at least I have to assume it's not being undone later because we spend so much time on that stuff that I can only really assume that the difference is just from the loop that they're in, the August, what was it, 14th
No, but then we
loop.
brought the thing with Mama, was it? About their backstory being inconsistent?
Well, that I just assume was just a whole... That I just kind of chalk up similar to how Shintaro has not at all ever acted like how he did towards the beginning of the manga ever since. He's always acted different, and I just assume that's just because I don't know. They just did not think to make it that consistent with that or something. I'm not sure, because that's like a detail where it seems like on this loop we need them to have a conversation. And also a thing with that too that I have to consider is it probably was consistent with the original writing, but because this is a manga exclusive thing, perhaps they fucked up and now it's not consistent or whatever with that. I don't know. Yeah. My assumption with things like that is it's either they fucked up with writing that, or it's something we don't understand about that. I don't know. Different degrees of controlling it or something, or maybe we're just analyzing too much, because a lot of these things too, I just assume you're not meant to, that's not the focus of it. They just bring it up for some other more important point, and if it doesn't make sense for something else, that's just because they weren't intending it to make sense towards something else. They were more trying to get some other point across, which is why sometimes those things happen, I assume. Yeah. But yeah, it's like we didn't get to the hamster thing mostly because of time, but also probably because their story seemingly is just they met with Azami at some point. They made a deal to not fuck with them, probably, and then that was it. Like their story probably didn't go too deep, and it probably more so wanted to focus on the Tsukihiko development for this. So we're probably never seeing that hamster again. By the way, that hamster does not even have an AniList page. Okay, they did not give a fuck about that hamster. That chief is not even on the list of characters. Now, am I saying, technically speaking, you, dear viewer, could add the hamster onto there and it would be accepted technically? Yes. And you should try it. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to bother doing it because that's a minor amount of work for a hamster chieftain that's there for like, what, half a volume maybe? Maybe like 2 chapters or something. Technically, they were a character.
That's Turndo's favorite character.
That is my favorite character.
You know, it's there for you to submit them if you want them to be recognized by the AniList Association of all manga. They're not an association,
Also,
as far as I'm aware.
Is this the time loop where they spill Coca-Cola on the rabbit food?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I was curious, did they ever get the rabbit food for the rabbit?
They did.
They did, but I.
They bought the rabbit food, they hung out with Hibaya and Hiyori, and then they went back home, gave the rabbit its food, and then they found out Hiyori might be hit by a truck, and that's where we've been all this time.
They got isekai'd.
Yeah. So the rabbit got its food. The rabbit's all good. The rabbit's fine. Don't worry about the rabbit. The rabbit's surviving the loop, okay? Kido is not surviving the loop, at least.
Well,
actually, no, hold on. Counter argument. If Shintaro is dead, then I don't think the rabbit's surviving.
I mean, the mom's still there, right?
That's true. Yeah, mom's still there.
Okay, you
checkmate. The rabbit has red eyes now. You know what?
No.
Soul's right. Soul's right. That rabbit probably does have red eyes. Explain that, Shintaro. All right. What traumatic incident did you cause your rabbit to get involved with for that to happen?
All right.
Didn't feed him for a week.
Who did the rabbit kill in order to get the red eye?
Whose eyes are those eyes?
Maybe it was their dad. Their dad's not in the picture, right? They keep mentioning the mom. I don't know if the dad's around.
That is. He went to get some milk.
Or did the dad die from Momo?
To buy cigarettes.
I don't remember what Momo's traumatic incident was. Almost drowning or something like that? I forget. But...
Oh, I thought you implied Momo killed him.
Well, supposedly somebody dies from the near tragic incident and other people live, right? And that's why.
Yeah. Alright, that's probably right.
I always thought it was like a battle royale where they like had 2 people go in and 1 person came out.
Dude.
You're right. It's Fortnite.
I can't believe they predicted
Fortnite game.
And then Ane default danced on them from
multiple
screens.
She definitely would.
Yeah, so these Medusa character backstory things, they were interesting. I mean, I like again, I like their little story. I thought it was very cute. I thought it was very nice. It was very like Ari said before, very fairy tale, very kind of straightforward with what it was going for with it, but I didn't mind it because I don't know. I thought it was cute. I thought it was nice. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sucker for lonely monster finds one nice person in the world and then they're happy together. I don't know. Maybe, maybe it's just comfy and cozy until the villagers attack. Maybe that's just nice.
There's one joke that I found funny during that part, and she
What's
said,
that?
"This man's gonna make my blood freeze."
Oh God. I think my main issue with this league was just all the confusion involving the eternity land stuff.
Golden Land.
With the clearing snake and also the clearing snake's goal in general. It sounded like when I hear the name the clearing snake, I just assume that's like the evil Konoha trying to kill everybody. We're trying to clear out the loop or whatever. That's my assumption with the name, but I don't actually know what that
It's
means.
a reasonable assumption.
But they also made it sound like they're trying to bring back the Medusa in general, which I don't know if killing the whole cast does that.
Like,
but
we
I
gotta
don't
get
know the rules of how this works.
The 10 parts of the brain cell together, and we make one complete brain cell.
I mean, I guess that would make because I guess the assumption
By
would
their
be
powers combined, they become one complete person.
well, I mean, because I guess the assumption would be if you kill one of the people with the eyes, then the eye thing goes back to the eternal place. I guess that's the assumption. So if you do kill them all, they are all back there together. Would be my assumption. I don't know though. But I'm assuming that's the thing that will definitely be explained in the later parts because I assume that's a part of the big climax, anyways. So, yeah, we'll see with that. So yeah, my main issues with this week was that confusion, and then also just how little progress we're making with the current timeline stuff. It's taken a bit for some of these flashbacks that I don't even know if they have to happen here right now at these moments. Like Ayano showed Hibaya all these flashbacks about Azami and the Medusas. None of that really had anything to do with Hibaya and his story. Its goal was just to say Hiyori is probably trapped in the eternity place that's set up right now, or dealing with something involved with the process for how we get our eyes.
Yeah, like for us, we can see how it connects to his problem, but it did really, when you think about it that way, it's like he's probably still just like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
What does this have to do with me?
Yeah.
These reptiles, whatever, I don't...
Because they're at the diner together, and Ayano, they explain to Shintaro that she can send you the memories that, you know, she's been showing, and he's like,
he just
yeah,
sits through all that and goes, I don't believe in all this witch shit, but
Hibaya at first is just like, yeah, she showed me it earlier. This is why I haven't felt like eating much. Okay, it fucked me up. All right, and he's just like, no, I think I'm good. I don't think I need to see that.
I'll pass. Okay, all this lore, nah, don't need it.
Like, it was a lot just to explain that for Hibaya, and Hibaya didn't need to see all of that.
Just trauma dumping at Applebee's.
Why not? Yeah. So that was a bit of a thing, but I don't know. I think the reason why that happened like that is probably also because of the length issues. They probably had some vague idea of how many volumes they were allowed to tell the story in, and so they were like, some of these flashbacks for it that we have planned ahead of time for the backstory have to happen in areas of this. So whatever progress you're currently making with the current timeline of your story, these have to be shown before the climax because they are critical to be shown before the climax, which I assume is how we got not a lot of progress on that current timeline, because most of the current timeline was them talking together at a Denny's, and then them talking at the gang place and then finding Kido dead. That was most of the current timeline things, or the current loop stuff was that. So this is once again another week where I'm ending it by saying, or at least on my side, my thoughts are the loop is probably about to reset next week, guys. Don't worry. But now at this point,
loop 3.
Well, because
might be the last one.
Well, with the timing constraints, I have to assume it's either the next one is the last one, or
the one after somehow. They just speedrun it.
Or it's going to do a thing that a lot of like visual novels will do, where it will get to a point where it just restarts a loop over and over and over again in fast succession, for thematic reasons. It's either going to be something like that, because it has to be one or the other, because there has to be some overarching progression towards the actual climax, which I don't know if that's outside of the rules of the loop because of the eternity place or what, but we gotta make progress on the climax. And so I at some point I had wondered if we were going to be stuck on this new loop for the remainder of the volumes, but that can't be the case because we're literally about to be entering August, the like third day at some point, which I don't think is allowed to happen. So, oh my god, there's a bot in the chat that said best viewers, but like they've started fucking with the word viewers, where it doesn't have we block the word viewers in the chat, but
the machines are adapting, chap. I don't think you understand.
Yeah, they're adapting and putting like weird the versions of those letters, but with like accents like around them or whatever, so that they get ignored by my filters. Oh my god. And a Mist is also in the chat. Welcome, Mist. Welcome.
Look, I'm just saying the AI was a mistake, okay? I don't know what to tell you.
This is true. Yeah, so there's a lot of backstory, more so being the focus, which I don't mind too much because I like the backstory. It just kind of feels awkward with the balance towards the current timeline stuff when I sit back and I think about what has progressed on our current loop. So I don't know. It gets me a little nervous still. As I've told you guys before, I get a little nervous about this going to end up being a time loop story that will confuse the fuck out of us at the very end because they did not have enough time to fully go over a lot of the things they wanted to do while getting to the climax or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to end up being an annoying thing with that. I hope it doesn't. I hope it has enough time to tell the story that it wants and not make it too confusing at the end. I hope that my confusion regarding the Snake Eternity World things is just because it's meant to be vague for now and will be explained more in the future. But also, I don't know if we have enough time for that. I don't know anymore. We are more than halfway through now because there's 13 volumes, so we have like 3 more weeks. Yeah, we have like 3 more weeks of this. So
more like 2.5.
Well, technically, yes, because there's 13 things, but yeah. There's like, because we have 9 and 10, then 11 and 12, then 13, yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have enough time for all that, but we'll see. We'll find out as a family. So, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Other thoughts, concerns, things to bring up, questions, theories that other people want to bring up, or character moments, or other memes that anybody want to bring up for this week? Anybody? Okay, if nobody has something, I will.
Let me see. Keep going. I'll just see if there's anything.
Okay, because I'm going to talk about the afterwards stuff. We had volume. Oh, by the way, reading through these afterwards, I was getting very confused about how the crediting was working for this, because my assumption was Jin was the original writer, right? My assumption was that Jin was the original writer, and
that's correct.
Mahiro is the artist that's doing their own timeline of the story here. I didn't realize that Jin was also just writing this story too, because he's credited as the original story. But that confused me because he's not credited as the story for this. Because my assumption was that the original story is different from this. So my assumption up until now has just been that Mahiro has been writing this story, not Jin. So that's what was.
It's Jin writing all of it, essentially.
Well, I understand that now, but I get confused at why, like, I know Jin did write the original story, but we don't typically keep citing them as the original story writer when they are also the active story writer of this. So I don't know what that was about. The whole time I've not been assuming that Jin was involved in the writing of this. Like, maybe the first couple volumes because it was inspired by his novels. But I did not assume that he was writing this until now. But then he makes it pretty clear in this afterwards that he is writing this. Anyways, the Volume 7 afterward, this is from Jin. Congratulations on getting Volume 7 out. Congrats, and thank you very much. Now the manga version's totally caught up to the novels. All right, I had a question about that. What does he mean by that? Because my assumption was also that this is new content. I'm very confused. Can you shine any light on this, Anne? What does he mean by this?
Some of the backstory stuff, a lot of the backstory stuff gets like told in a different way in the novels, but it is still very much like the same in terms of, I guess, pacing.
Okay.
It's following on a similar enough track, but I think here is where things are going to diverge more significantly than they already have.
Okay. Because my assumption up to this point, and maybe it was specified in an early episode and I just forgot or whatever, my assumption up to this point was that all the novels were released and done before this was even started. But now this is giving me the impression that the novels were still being published, and this is now going beyond that for those details. That's my assumption now. Does that sound about correct?
I believe it was simultaneous, yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to clarify that because, prior to reading these afterwards, I just assumed that the novels were all completely done prior, and it didn't really matter for this because it was trying to go in its own thing, but then I was getting confused with that. So I just wanted to clarify that detail. Now the manga, I'm just going to read the afterwards stuff again. Now the manga version is totally caught up to the novels. That's something I'm overjoyed to see, of course, but it also makes me feel a bit guilty. Therefore, I've made it my mission of sorts to make sure the original manga stories I'm creating are even more exciting than the novels, so hopefully that'll help earn me some forgiveness. That aside, my handwriting is getting so messy that I'm honestly starting to get anxious. I feel like it's getting messier and messier with each passing volume. What an ordeal. Here's to the next volume in the series. And that's the volume.
Definitely not foreboding.
Yeah, definitely not. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Then I think Sidhu, who Sidhu for these volumes has started just writing random things on here instead of, I think before, and they even commented on it, they kept saying, I feel like it keeps saying the same thing about this issue of me saying in these afterwards, I can't wait to see what new thing is coming up next. It's been really cool so far. And now they've just given up on doing that, and they just write little comments or like things about the characters. So like this one says, recently it feels like the latest volume just pops up in my office when I'm least expecting it, like a gift from Santa Claus. Thanks, Santa.
Christmas is just a week away.
So that one happened from Sidhu. Then we have an afterword from Mahiro Satou, the artist for the manga. This is for Volume 7. When the series first started up, I never thought I'd see 4 summers pass me by while drawing this manga. What a blessing it's been. I keep a cat and a rabbit at home, but the manga's gone on long enough that they're both practically in their golden years. I'll keep on plugging away at this, so I hope you'll stick around too. So that was Volume 7. Volume 8 has quite a few other things that get added with that for the little things that they throw in. So first we have Jin's Volume 8 afterward, which says, we've all made it to Volume 8, to the afterword specifically. The idea of how many tens of thousands of sheets of paper with these crappy content-free afterwards I write for every single volume is starting to make me nauseous. I really have to apologize about this. Once again, Kagerou Daze has seen the light of day thanks to the dogged efforts of a vast number of people. I'll do my best to make sure the next volume remains fun for all our readers too. So that's Jin. And then we have Sidu, who has a picture of a bloody, dying Keto, but looks like they're alive and moving, and they have something in their hand. I don't know what that is. And then the comment says, huh? Keto-san's in big trouble? Oh, come on, what are you on about?
Bottle.
What are you on about? If you're looking for Keto-san, she's right behind us, cooking dinner like she always does. Hey, Keto-san. Oh, wait, she's dead. That's where I'm just like looking at this like. This is where I'm just looking at this like, all right, Sido has just is just writing meme comments for the afterwards now, which I'm all for, because again, it was getting to the point before where Sido was just like, why am I even here except to just say, wow, I can't wait to find out what happens next. So now we're having a little more fun with it, so I'm glad for that.
It's a little bonus memes. We like bonus memes here at the Game Book Club.
That's true. And now for Volume 8, My Heroes Afterward. It says, wow, we're all the way up to Volume 8. I can't help but notice the sense of buildup that's been growing since Volume 7 or so. Sorry you had to wait a little longer for this one than usual. It was due in part to a little personal business. Namely, I gave birth to a child last year. Apologies for not giving a little more notice. For now, my current goal is to build up the strength to balance my life between manga and raising a baby. Now this volume was all about Kano and Keto, I suppose.
Fucking AO3 author's note ass.
Like, and it says, I love all the characters.
Sorry guys, my beta reader got arrested last week.
I got hit by a car.
Sounds like you have experience in this.
Oh, God. I love all the characters I get to work with, but I've been particularly smitten with these two ever since we launched. I'd love to draw them a whole lot more, and hopefully that's part of Jin-san's plan. Anyway, that's all for now. Here's hoping. See you in the next volume. Them just throwing in, by the way, I had a baby. Reminded me of, was there, I think, the Pandora Hearts author, or maybe it was the Bloom Into You author. One of them had left a comment that was like a wild, like, I got married comment, but it wasn't them. At the very end, it was like signed by.
Oh, it was Pandora Hearts.
Yeah.
Pandora Hearts.
It was just like a comment that had nothing to do with them. It was like some other person that they asked to like give a quote for or something, or like, this person told me this or whatever. But they like left that bit for the very, very end after you read that, and you're like, wait a minute, they got fucking married? Wait, what happened? And then I think the next one, they were like, okay, so apologies for misleading you guys in the last afterward. It reminded me of that. But I mean, you know, congrats to them for having the baby on top of working on the manga. The idea of balancing working on manga while raising a baby sounds like a nightmare in the current environment. I don't know how it was like back when this happened. I good luck to them.
Sense.
You know, when I hear that note and I think back on it, I think to myself, you know what? It probably makes sense why when I did research about them, they'd only ever done like Kagerou Daze anthology comics ever since, and their newest work is another Vocaloid project that like only recently started. That's probably why it's probably was a nightmare to do both, and so we had to take a little break from a lot of that probably. But it seems like they're back to work with a new series, so I don't know. Good luck with them on that. I just, you know, when I think about that idea of having to work on manga, knowing how much a lot of these manga authors struggle with how much content they're meant to generate all the time under strict deadlines, and having to fight for like popularity in magazine serializations and such, doing all that on top of raising a child. Oh my God, this sounds like a nightmare. But I mean, I guess it also depends on your situation, like how many people you have helping out with it and stuff. So I don't know. Good for them. Congratulations, my hero. What else was there? And that was it for the afterwards. Okay. So, do we have any other thoughts, comments, concerns, memes, dreams, anything in between that people want to bring up at all before we wrap this up?
She's on an iPhone. She got a Swift update to her code base.
What's that? Who has an iPhone?
NA is now on an iPhone, so that means
Oh.
he's on Swift
Oh,
or the code
sweet.
base.
Oh, sweet. That's very. Does that mean she's faster? Because she's very.
Probably.
No,
She'll
I mean,
probably
she's a
appear on a
Swiftie
MacBook,
now.
I guess, in the future.
Does that mean she's overpriced now?
He's already
I think
priceless.
Shintaro would say she was always overpriced.
What do you mean? Shintaro got it for free in his spam
That's
folder.
his point.
He should have been paid, to be honest.
Free, but at what cost?
Yeah.
His privacy forever.
His mental state.
True. All right. Anything else before we
Phone
wrap
is
this?
on right
What about that?
now. Where is NA actually?
She is on Momo's phone with.
Yeah. I remember
Kano?
she had a talk with Kano for a bit there. Because they
I was
were
like, "Are you just actually like a phone person? There's no like person behind the thing." No, okay, cool.
yeah, she's like, you're not, or Kano's like, you're not a program. You're an actual person, right? You're somehow in there. You're in a weird situation like us, somehow. I'm like, okay, that's a lot to figure out instantly about this program that you've known for like not even a day in this timeline, for like 30 minutes in this timeline. I don't know. Listen, it's fine. All right. Yeah. All right. Any final things? Okay, sweet. Well, thank you so much, everybody, once again for coming to the Anime Book Club. This concludes our 100th episode. Oh my god. Thank you so much for continuing to be with us on this journey. We will be back next week at the usual Thursday 9 p.m. time. We do this every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch this on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick all at the same time. Eventually, with the next series, you will also be able to listen to us on Spotify. So that'll be interesting to try out when we get there. If you wish to listen to these live, you can just visit those YouTube, Twitch, or Kick on those platforms. Or if you want to become a part of the book club, either in the text chats or like joining on to one of these voice calls with us, you can join discord.wolfborg.com, jump into the Discord server, grab yourself the Anime Book Club role, and you can become a part of the gang here, okay? If you join the gang, you get a special eye ability, I hear. If you haven't gotten one yet, we'll figure out how to give you a traumatic experience real quick. Don't worry. So that's all we have.
Doing that.
Oh my god. So that's what we got for this week. Other things to note, we will be continuing our watch along of Pandora Hearts this Saturday. We watched the first 6 episodes last time, so we will be watching episodes 7 through 12 this Saturday at noon Eastern. I think that's why we're on the schedule. So we'll be doing that. And then, as we mentioned during the pre-show, if you are interested in seeing anything about visual novels, indie visual novels that were produced that are themed around Halloween and spooky things, check out the Sunday's award show stream for the Spooktober VN Game Jam that me and Ari here were Game Jam judges for. We're going to be on that show. It's going to be on Chizu Coyote's YouTube channel. I'll be posting and or reposting the whatever relevant posts about getting to there when that happens. But that's going to be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to hear about some cool visual novel entries, you can go there and check that out. And any other things, I'd like to tell you guys that I'm about to be streaming Silent Hill F at some point again soon, or streaming something soon, but I've just been busy so much lately, which is why we haven't had as many gaming streams. So hopefully next week I'll be able to again, because now I don't have to read through a bunch of VNs anymore and deal with a whole bunch of other things anymore. So we'll see how that goes. I also am free to continue reading Fate Unlimited Blade Works now, so I could start doing that now. Because I read through all of the regular Fate routes, and then I stopped to focus on the other VNs, and now I can finally start Unlimited Blade Works. So that'll be interesting to do. Unfortunately, I did not get to finish it before Shiro Day happened, So I was seeing Shiros everywhere, but I hadn't read UBW yet. But we're getting there now. We're getting there. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Let's see who's around to raid Shadow Legends. Even. Maybe we should raid somebody new here. Let's look under a category here. Let's look under the art category. Do we got any artists that we can say hi to? Art. Okay, this person is doing thumbnail art making is what it says. Let's go say hi to Spirited Smile. Hope you guys had a great time. Thank you so much again for 100 episodes of Book Club, and we will see you next week for 101. Book Club 101, alright? Get your notebooks ready. Take some notes for the quiz. There is a quiz.
Starting the second loop.
Oh my god. Yippee! Alright, goodbye gamers. Bye
Just have to start
stream.
with Fire Punch again.
Become Fire Punch. Live. Live.
But it's really thematically correct, you know, because then we'll never finish Kagerou Daze, just like how the loops in Kagerou Daze just keep